All right, hello everybody. We're going to go with hole number 5 here with either or here. Having more topspin is a little bit more beneficial. Curl is also nice, so having the epoch curl does actually really help. Let me just go ahead. I'm going to... I'm going to do Thor. Let's do something a little interesting here. We're going to do Thor Royal Ball. I'm just going to hit a hook shot. One of the nice things about hitting the hook slice shot here is the fact that, into a head, well, we're essentially going to be into a headwind. So you're going to see that this wind, it's very slopey. And you'll see that with as strong as it is pointed over towards the side, it's almost going to act like a headwind, which actually kind of helps because it actually ends up controlling how much it hooks. So it's going to go much more uniform than it usually would. Now, what I'll typically do is what you see my opponent doing, which is essentially playing it out. However, I don't want to do this with limited curl. So I don't recommend doing this. As you see my opponent doing, he is going to get bailed out, landing it very, very close to the right edge. Let's say he hit perfect ball there. No chance that was holding the fairway. So you do have to land very, very aggressively on the right edge. And that's one of the reasons that I'm just going to go ahead and select a royal ball. Just try to focus on more topspin more than anything. Try to create a little bit of extra momentum. First things I'm going to do is I'm going to play about 7 rings or so into the rough. So I'm going off the right of my bullseye, and you'll see that I'm 7 rings over. Additionally to this, I'm going to just stack 1 full bullseye. And I am just going to go just 1 or so more rings just to be safe. So I'm going to, in addition to that, I could have just started off, say, 6 rings. And you can see with what I'm doing, I'm just trying to basically get as much momentum as I can, and it looks like it just came up short from hitting that fairway. So even with the royal ball, it does kind of stretch my limits a little bit. Another thing you can do is you can do gear ball. You can do that autumn fall ball that they put out similarly, and it should go a little bit longer than what you saw mine as well. But you can see that it creates a nice angle there for it to cut back in the fairway. Now, I don't recommend you doing that with Apocalypse whatsoever. It just won't be necessary. I'll have more curl. If I have 80, 100 curl, I don't need to hit that shot that I just hit. It's pointless. It just creates unnecessary risk that you don't need. However, you can see with where I am, this is going to be good enough. And, half the time I might be able to get enough momentum on that and hopefully enough of a tailwind that it actually does land in the fairway as opposed to clipping that rough there. So a little bit of a bad break, but here you can see we're still within range here, and I'm just going to do this. Looks like I'm about 80% or so club. I usually don't add too much here. So pretty much whatever the number kind of gives me is more or less what I'll do. I do usually use a little bit of topspin here. You can see my ball guide might just be slightly offset. And I'm just going to kind of shoot for the 11.8-ish rings here. Somewhere in the neighborhood of here. Might even be a little bit too much, to be honest with you. Let's see. Let's just see how it plays out. So there, yep, it is just a little bit too much. And the reason that I kind of thought that it might be a little too much is because it's uphill. So I probably should have done this, 10.6. And, that might have just been a little bit better. Also, keep in mind when I move to higher ground, you might also notice that the ball lands a little bit longer than where I set up. So do keep that in mind. If you set up a little too aggressive towards the north face, it might actually land on the fairway. So that's a mistake you can make. So make sure when you're pulling rings, You know, you can pull at a slight angle, which I do sometimes. There, I pulled very straight for the most part. If I was to make a slight modification there and just basically pull back towards the tee box after I make my adjustment, it'd probably be a much better. So just keep that in mind. And good luck there, guys. And I'll see you guys on the next one.